So the second stanza that we are going to proceed with says, let me just read out the stanza, the second stanza. It says, all of the sides of the hill and plain fly as thick as driving rain, and ever again, in the wink of an eye, painted stations whistle by. So this is a first hand experience of the poet, and he is completely enjoying all the glimpses of nature and experiencing this travel journey by train. So the second stanza he's mentioning, he says that all of our sights, everything, all the sceneries, everything that he sees while he's sitting in the by the in the train carriage, all of the sides of the hill and plain. So now, as moving forward, as you remember that the train has crossed the pastures, the green land, and now the train has come and it is crossing the hills and plains. Hill is usually referred to a smaller version of a mountain. It's usually small, and now the train is moving forward. It's crossing all the hills, and after the hills, it is crossing the plains. And so these are different creations of nature that the poet is experiencing in one journey. It is not a compilation of many journeys that he's experiencing. He's experiencing and he's mentioning about one single journey where he has experienced every form of nature and he's completely enjoying it. So the train has crossed through the plain area, and now fly as thick as driving rain. Have you ever experienced a rainfall? Have you ever experienced a windy rainfall? Let's say slightly stronger. Let's say a storm. So when it's raining, do you think you have to wait for the second drop to fall before the first after the first drop falls? No, it keeps on falling. You don't have to wait and say, okay, where is the second drop coming from? So, in the same way, the movement, the falling of the raindrops here, the poet has compared the falling of the raindrops with the movement and the speed of the train. Again, it has been compared metaphorically, and the poet is amazed to see the speed of the train. You know, it's crossing, it's just crossing everything, whatever comes in its way, and the train is not stopping, and the poet is completely enjoying this journey. Here, the poet has mentioned the term called fly, if you can see. Fly usually is referred to something that flies in the air. But here, the poet has compared the fast movement, the speed of the train with fly. Again, compared metaphorically. And, of course, this term called metaphor, these are writing tools. Let me just mention it here. Metaphor. These are forms of figures of speech that I will mention, and I will explain these forms of speech when we are discussing the question answers. So don't worry about it if you don't understand. But right now, at the moment, all I want you to understand is that metaphor is something where there's a comparison between two things. So the poet has compared the flying, when something is flying in the air, moving in the air up, he has compared that movement with the speed of the train. As with the speed of the train, and at the same time, he's saying that of the hill and plain fly as thick as driving rain. And the movement is so fast. He has compared it with the raindrops which are falling one after another. He has compared that with the movement of the rain, with the speed of the train. And ever again in the wink of an eye, before you can blink your eye. It doesn't take even a picosecond to blink your eye, does it? So that is the movement of the train. The train is not moving, the train is not stopping somewhere. It is going on and on and on and on. And with the movement, he's experiencing all these beautiful forms of nature, experiencing whatever the train has passed, whatever the train has crossed, whatever the train has moved on with. And ever again in the wink of an eye. These things are not going to come back. Whatever he has crossed is gone. Painted stations whistle by. And now the train has moved through the hills, the train has moved through the plains, and the train has moved forward so fast, faster than the raindrops, and suddenly you can see these beautiful structural buildings. These structural buildings are nothing but the railway stations. In between, usually what happens is that when a train is moving fast, when a train is going on a long journey, it usually doesn't stop at every small station that comes in this way. You have some main stations that and there's a particular time, set time that the train stops for. Let's say 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, maximum 5 minutes. I don't think there's any train which stays at one station for more than 5 minutes. So the poet is also mentioning about the small stations that the train has crossed by, and it is not stopping. So, and in that movement, in that speed, he can see the small buildings, the structural small railway station buildings that he has crossed. But now, because as we can understand that now the train has come to a big station, and he can see the big structural painted buildings. Painting maybe it's painted with red color, with white color, but something which signifies that it's a railway station whistles by. If you have not experienced a train journey, even if you're watching a movie or you can see it in a documentary or on television, before there's a signal. There's a mark which says that a train is coming. So the train is whistling before the train reaches the station and after the train reaches the station. So these are signals, and during the signals, we now come to know that the train has halted for some time. It has stopped for some time, and in that movement, in that stationary position, he can enjoy the beauty of the structural railway station.